Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Where's my backpack at? It's over here, guys. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Because, wow, when Sam Houston gets up and wins a game like that, what are you all thinking? Are you back on the Sam Houston bandwagon? Get in, sound off. This is the Bearkat Bites post-game show. The Sam Houston football post-game show. Sam Houston comes in after a fresh victory of Oregon State. Could they keep the momentum going? Well, as far as being opportunistic, creating turnovers, that happened. That was still a thing. A final missed field goal from Delaware fails to tie it up, and the Bearcats walk out of Shell Energy Stadium, which I'm looking at right here, guys. I'm looking right at Shell Energy Stadium. They walk out of here with a 26-23 victory, 8 sacks, their most since 2018, I believe, against Nicholls State. Things are starting to magically look better. I mean, there was a time none of you wanted to watch any of this crap. There was a time after UTEP, you were done. There was a time after Jacksonville State, you said you'd had enough. This is now 2 good wins. 2 epic wins. 2 wins in which the defense. How do you feel about that? And now you're mixing in the running game. We got to talk to Coco Brown tonight, the star running back for Sam Houston. I can't wait to share with you all what he said. Did you see the hurdle, the big hurdle for the touchdown? When was the last time Sam Houston had a Sports Center worthy play on offense? When was the last time that happened? I mean, there's finally some good vibes, and it came against a coach who was around the last time you really had any really high vibes. You know, Ryan Carty, the current coach at Delaware, he was the former offensive coordinator at Sam Houston. You know, he left in 2021 to take that job, right? So how happy are you? How happy are you all right now? Keep laying the comments on me. Let me see. Never got off. Somebody never got off the bandwagon. Somebody here never got off the bandwagon, and shout out to you. Let's go. Lay them on me, guys. What did you all think tonight? Let me go through some of my notes that I wrote down here. Now, you all know I always keep copious notes during the game. One could say 2 things. Okay. Well, I know it was some of y'all that jumped off of that bandwagon. You ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to tell me. I know some of y'all have jumped off because, see, I'm here all the time. I'm here all the time. You all are, if you're an annual subscriber and things, you all keep me here. You support what we do. And if you don't, you can head down the comments and you can support that way, okay? Head down in the comments. Do you all want a Sam Houston shirt? Head into the comments and get this Sam Houston t-shirt that we have here for you, okay? Overall, man, not a game that I expected. Now, when I went on with my friend Chris Yandick in Las Vegas, I went ahead and picked Sam. I went ahead and picked Sam Houston to win because why not? Why the hell not? You know, this was a game that, you know, you're at home, you're coming off a victory. I don't know that I truly believed it. I thought maybe Matoya was going to be back. It was Landon Locke. How about that? Phil Longo saying Landon Locke. And apparently over the course of the game, they were about this close to putting Mabry Matoya back in, which I'm kind of glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't. You know, Landon Locke, he didn't do a ton, you know, but he made plays when you needed them. He was that type of quarterback. He was like a Joe Flacco. Ironically, Joe Flacco went to Delaware. You know how that guy is always, he's a game manager. He's not spectacular, but he won't lose. Well, Landon Locke kind of played like that. There's nothing really to write home about, but you look up, he didn't have any interceptions, didn't fumble the ball, didn't have turnovers. And that's big when you're the quarterback. It was enough to win. And then after that, you know, you bring in Christian Pavon, who finally kicked some field goals. I don't know who the hell this Sam Houston team is. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know who the hell these guys are right now because they look completely different. You know, Christian Pavon, you know, he missed the final field goal, but he made 3 straight from some decent yardage out. The defense, like I said, played very well. Tyler Bailey in the secondary. How many of you guys, a lot of you guys were Tyler Bailey haters. You were ready to get rid of Tyler Bailey. You were asking, why the hell is this guy there? Right? Let's see what you guys got on me. Let's see what you guys got. Lay them on me. Lay the comments on me. Let's see. Made my terrible week that much better. Well, that's what college football is all about, man. You know, life happens. I've been one of those guys who there's a period of time here and there in your life where things just suck. I just came out of one, truthfully. It's not all sunshine and stickers like we talk about here. You just see me on here, and we have a good time talking about football, but things get hard, and college football can be one of those respites, and I'm glad that they won. Glad to see for others. You know, we're not fans of Sam Houston. We're observers and media. You guys are the fans. You guys are the fanatics and the burners, and we're here to kind of take you inside and give you insight, you know. Let's see. Like this momentum to close. Middle Tennessee is winnable. Middle Tennessee is winnable. You know, we talked this week. I talked this last Thursday about Kelly Ford, who is the great analytic master of college football, college basketball. He put Sam Houston at a 78% chance to win a second game. And we talked about that on Thursday. Who was going to be this game? And, well, there's Delaware. And now I wonder what the percentage would be for a third win. Because, like you say, you still got Middle Tennessee. And those guys are hemorrhaging coaches. Their offensive line coach just opened left, and then they fired their wide receiver coach. You know, and I think their starting quarterback, Nicholas Vadiato, who's been there for a while, I'm not 100% certain that he's going to play next week. They just got their ass kicked by their rival, Western Kentucky, 100 miles of hate, that rivalry. And so that was their Super Bowl. There's really not much else for them. Scroll down here. What's going on? There we go. Did we burn the red shirt? Yeah. Well, I think that's it. I think that is it. Well, no. I'm sorry. This would have been the last one. They're going to go ahead and burn it, I'd say, for Landon Locke. If you don't know what we're talking about, you know, Landon Locke, he was a red shirt. He could play 4 games. On the 5th one, that's the end of your red shirt. I mean, you kind of got to at this point. I'm surprised that they did, to be honest. I'm surprised. You know, I'm kind of shocked that happened. So, you know, we'll see. Yeah, Longo saying, yeah, it's after 10. We can get a bit mouthy. Longo saying blank that RS, that red shirt. You know, it's after 10:30. We can get you guys can get a bit mouthy, okay? He got hurt there at the end. I think he was okay, just shaking up a little bit. They didn't ask Longo in the presser. Just busy getting other stuff in, but he was shaking up, which may have contributed to the miss. I think he's okay. They better hope he's okay, because RJ Lopez, the other kicker, Purdue transfer, was in street clothes. I think his season's done. I saw him on the sidelines juggling tennis balls. So, you know, had a good run for the first down too. Yeah, let me talk to y'all about the running game. I do want to talk to y'all a little bit about the Sam Houston running game. What do we think about that? 139 yards on the ground, 4.8 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns. And they finally had a 100-yard rusher in Coco Brown. I keep calling him Landon Brown because we have Landon Locke. Now I'm thinking Landon Brown, Coco Landon. And Coach Longo called me on that in the press conference. He said, that's the first guy I think it's called him Landon. It was like, well, we got Landon Locke here, and I know he's Landon Brown. It's just, you know, in my mind, I'm trying to do that. I'm mentally trying to get ready to talk to you guys. I still got to do my damn game story for the Bearkat Bites newsletter. Y'all better support what we do, man. We're putting out a lot of stuff for you guys. We're going to try to go until 11 tonight. I guess we'll go until 11 because I got to take the train. We'll go till 11. Keep laying these on me. But yeah, about Pavon, I think he's okay. There was nothing imminent that I'd heard from any SIDs or anything, a little shaken up. But, you know, it's Sam Houston. You never know. You never know when it's Sam Houston, right? You know, so there's that. Not sure who Jailbait is. Had to give the TB time. This is his first year. Oh, Tyler Bailey? Yeah. So Tyler Bailey has switched over from offense. So, yeah, they had to give him time. And it did not look good early on. Let me talk to you about Tyler Bailey as well. He looked good. He's looked good the past couple of games. Really, I'm not La Tech, but there were a couple of nice plays that Tyler Bailey made at safety. Even in the UTEP game, he's had a few plays that have looked good. He's really coming on. I thought that was good, you know. So we'll see. The running game, though, it's a credit to the offensive line. They had a couple of penalties. They gave up a sack, but the offensive line is coming together. They had somebody line up at left tackle. Isaac Son. That's what I meant to ask about. Some of the left tackle stuff. Isaac Son lined up at left tackle. I'm sure that helped some. That had to help with some of this. We'll talk to Longo about that later. There were just so many little notes that I needed to get to, and we'll talk to him about that during the week. But they made a few moves on the offensive line, and I think that's a secret that has paid dividends. Look at this offensive line from early on in the season, and look at it now. It's really solidified. It hasn't, they're not, the New England Patriots of Bill Belichick's of yore, but they're a solid group. They're getting solid. They're getting better, right? It was great to see some former Cats on the side. Yeah, that was very cool. A couple of baseball guys. The Kraut. Oh man, now I got to look at my damn phone. Where's my phone? The Caden CUSA. You all can go to my Twitter. You all can go to my Twitter and X. You all can see some of the stuff that I posted. Colton CUSA. There was a Isaac Schley from Sam Houston Baseball. He had a custom Colton CUSA tongue twister jersey on. So I took a picture of that. Now, we don't cover a lot of Sam Houston baseball and stuff here, but we don't cover a ton of that. But I know that you guys care about that stuff, so we did that. Chris Eaton, right? Oh, we got to talk to Chris Eaton. Now, let me talk to you all about the defensive line of Sam Houston. It's just the lines of scrimmage on both sides of the ball have come a long way in the past 2 to 3 weeks. And now you're finally starting to see the wins. It just took them a long-ass time to finally do it, but they finally did. Chris Eaton was everywhere, man. My goodness. He and Antavius Fish, we talked to Chris Eaton. We got to talk to him in the postgame. I thought I heard somebody say that that was CJ Brown. They need to label him, but no, that was Chris Eaton. He's a very good speaker. He talked about just how working in practice, it's been a process, and you guys, the fans, the observers, we here in the media are finally seeing it. Chauncey Cheedy did well as also. Dylan Frazier had another good game. Let me see here. How many tackles did Frazier have? Now he didn't have 13 like he did in the other game, but he had 3 tackles, had a sack, a couple of tackles for loss. That's not bad. Yeah, Son is much better. Son is so hold on. Let me finish that thought about Frazier. So it was another solid night, man. There was a time kind of in the middle of the game, kind of middle of the second quarter, definitely the kind of the middle of the third, kind of the fourth, when Delaware was making that comeback. I'm like, okay, where are these guys? But then they finally came back and made a couple of stops. You had the where is it? You had the Antavius Fish sack. You had a couple of nice things. Now that's more of the linebackers, but they played well also. And in a linebacking core and in the front seven where you are missing Jameer Diaz still, and my guess is he's out for the season. I haven't gotten official confirmation on that, by the way, but I think Jameer Diaz is out for the season. So there's that. Isaac, hold on, we'll get to that. Let's see. Siobhan Boyd had a solid day also, yes, and keeping up with the Sam Houston 7. A lot of guys whose names we have not called a lot had good games. And there was even Drayvon Wilson. Drayvon Wilson lined up at cornerback a little bit in place of Alonzo Edwards. I think that helps. He got burned a little bit, but I think that helps. You know what I'm saying? I definitely think that helps. So we'll see. Let's see. Isaac Schley is a former Bearkat tight end. I see that. That's right before I really came on. He was there right before I really came on. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. I knew Colton CUSA with the Orioles. I knew he was there. But Isaac Schley, I wasn't too sure. Wasn't too sure. And the more I am here, the more we're here around the program and stuff, the more we'll recognize these guys. So I was glad to get that picture and share it with you guys. There were a lot of former Bearcats, and we got pictures and stuff like that. So that was cool. Let's see. Diaz, a red shirt. Did he play 4 games? He may have played 4 games already, man. Let me think. No. He hasn't. You're right. You're right. They might redshirt him because that's only been 4 games with Diaz. Yeah, they might redshirt Diaz. We'll see. We'll see. He played well enough to probably get 30K somewhere else. We'll see. But we'll see. I hope Jameer Diaz comes back to this program. I think he's really good. I think he's somebody that they can really build on. You're right. Yeah, Texas was his 4th game. So hopefully they can redshirt him. We're going to see. That'll be some off-season stuff, which is right around the corner. You know, sheesh. Before you know it, it'll be time to do some signing day stuff and spring ball. But let's enjoy these last 2. First of all, let's just enjoy tonight. Enjoy tonight, Bearkat fans, because you finally have something to be happy about. This is 2 straight weeks of being excited, and now it's happened at home. You can celebrate with the team and all of this stuff. Why haven't they played Caleb Holloway? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know why they do a lot of things with this team. Honestly, if you want my honest opinion, I'm not sure why they do a lot of stuff. I really thought that with Holloway, I would say that Dean Ford maybe Dean Ford is taking some of that stuff. That the outside linebackers, you got some younger guys that they want to line up there, and they've been doing pretty good. Dean Ford played pretty well. Yeah, guys younger than Caleb Holloway are playing better. They're just playing better. Brody Henderson's got to put on some more weight. I heard a guy behind me talking about they got this big tall guy. He's skinny. Well, he's a freshman, right? Dean Ford lit up the quarter. Exactly. So, if you're getting production from these younger players who you kind of want around the program because you want to lit up guys, then that's kind of how you're going to approach it, right? That's kind of going to be how you approach it. How are we feeling about the commit so far? There was a lot of invites. Now, let me tell you something. You're going to go on the Sam Houston Twitter page for recruiting, and they're going to say that the recruiting section was sold out. Were there a lot of commits? Yes. Was a lot of that sellout family and friends? Was it dad, uncle, friend of uncle, kid of uncle? Yes, it was a lot of that. So it wasn't quite a sellout for the recruits, but there were a lot of recruits here. There were. And it's good, if you pick a game for them to go to, why not be this one when the team finally looks decent, when they don't look like a cadaver, right? So that was good. I saw a lot of recruits here. I did. So that was something. First win in the gray unis, yeah. And I'll expand that. Second game where they look good in the gray unis playing. Remember, they had the gray unis against Jacksonville State, and they played them. It was a final field goal that made it by an inch that sunk Sam Houston in that one, but they played okay, Yeah, Brody Henderson's a small guy. Brody Henderson, he's tall, height, he's fine, but he's got to get bigger. But, they'll do that. If they get him in the gym and do him right, he needs an off season. I think he'll be okay. Because Brody Henderson, Dean Ford, these guys, they've been doing a lot more. Even Darian Jackson. So they've been doing a lot more than I thought they would in their first year. So it's very interesting to see. So overall, man, it wasn't just one thing tonight that Sam Houston did well. There are a plethora of things. The play that's going to stand out to me is going to be the Coco Brown touchdown where he hurdles the guy. We asked him about it. We're going to post it tonight when I get back to the north side from here and finish the rest of my story. We're going to talk about that. So there was that. The quarterback play was solid enough. The front seven played very well. Sam Houston forced 2 more fumbles. Recovered those fumbles, even in the midst of when they were bad, when I was trying to find, okay, is there any good thing that this team does? Well, they force a lot of fumbles and they can recover them. And you saw that 2 times tonight. It shouldn't surprise you what's going on. But what are we thinking here, guys? What do you all think? Are you back? Some of you all never left. Are you all, if you were sitting on the caboose of the Sam Houston Express, are you sitting in the main cabin now? Are you sitting right there in the nice coaches of the train now? You know what I'm saying? Because I know some of you guys are ready to just call it on the season, and rightfully so. But this is a team playing much better. This is a team that looks pretty good now. They can beat Middle Tennessee. They can beat FIU. I don't think they're going to beat FIU. I think FIU is very, very strong right now. I think their defense is probably going to be able to do some things against Sam Houston, even if Kewan Jenkins, their quarterback, struggles. Mr. Clark, great name. That defensive back for them is pretty good. So we'll see. Right now, though, you have every reason to celebrate. Happy times are back for Sam Houston, at least for right now. And apparently things with the NIL and all this other stuff, things are improving. Things are getting better. You just don't see it yet, apparently. So there's that. We'll go for about 5 more minutes here. We'll go for about 5 more if we don't get any comments, because I'm going to try to take the train and head back. Good night. It's November in Houston, so God forbid it ever be cold and feel like November weather, right? But it was not hot. It was not humid like it was the previous games. So that's good. And hopefully Saturday after next, it'll be better. What else? Some housekeeping things. We will have the Bearkat Bites podcast, normally Thursday next week. We'll have it Wednesday. The best man at my wedding has committed the cardinal sin of deciding to get married during college football season. So my wife and I will hop a plane to Barcelona, Spain, and watch him get married and miss the Middle Tennessee game. So we're going to do our Bearkat Bite stuff earlier in the week. We will not have a Bearkat Bite post game next week, and we will not have a game story. We will not have any of that next week, but we'll be right back when we come back. All right, we'll be right back for Sam Houston. Actually, we'll be fine. We won't be at the weekly press conference because we'll be traveling, but I will listen to the recording. So next week and the Middle Tennessee week is kind of wonky. We kind of got a funky end to the season here a little bit, thanks to true love finding itself, Well, he showed up to my wedding. The guy showed up to my wedding back in March, so I guess I should go to his, right? He bought all that stuff. Grady O'Neal. Yeah, fancy out of country wedding. You know what? I don't care this damn fancy because I had to pay all this damn money to get over there. How about that? Wish it wasn't as fancy, but that's his wife. Whenever it's fancy stuff, fellas, it's implicitly understood. Oh yeah, the woman wanted that crap. All them people walked in, and you should have seen my wedding. Everyone knew I didn't come up with that. Everybody knew I didn't come up with that. Grady did have a good day. Let's talk about the wide receivers. The wide receivers, I don't want to say that they were not pedestrian, but they still were not what am I trying to say? There wasn't a guy separating himself. And Longo's talked about that, but they played well. Now, there was the Quavez Humphreys in the third quarter. There was the Quavez Humphreys touchdown that should have been called a touchdown. And Longo even talked about it. He's like, I've never heard offensive pass interference and defensive at the same time. Normally, they just don't call anything, right? It was very, very strange. So the wide receivers overall did have a good day. Grady O'Neal, 57 catches. 57 yards, 5 catches. Chris Reed should have done a lot more. He's a guy that's starting to get open, get separation. The problem is his hands. He's not getting handsy enough. Like I was grabbing some boobies there. It's after 10. We can get mouthy. It just wasn't enough. Yeah, there you go. Chris Reed dropped way too many passes. His hands have got to be better. You got to catch the ball before you run with it. Chris Reed, I think, has a chance to be the best receiver on this team. But that's what's stopping him. That is the one thing that is stopping him from separating himself. He's just like all the other guys. Without him being able to have good hands, you throw him in there with Grady O'Neal, Derek Bledsoe, Tim Burns. Tim Burns, he's just one of the most lucky guys ever. He had the kickoff return for touchdown last week, but there were a couple bad thrown balls to him. He dropped another pass. It looked like he got hurt down here when he tried to catch a touchdown, but it went through his hands. Tim Burns. Sometimes I just want to give Tim Burns a hug. I just want to give Tim Burns a hug sometimes and tell him it's all going to be okay. Oh, Timmy Burns, man. I don't know why we do jump ball. Yeah, and that's what it was. That's what it was. Some of that was just jump balls to Tim Burns. Landon Locke just trying to put it to where he thought a guy could get it. I don't know. But again, some of that was him dropping some passes as well. But overall, I'm going to grade the receivers tonight. I'm going to give them a B. I'm going to give them a solid B because they didn't do anything spectacular, but, they didn't cost the team. They kept the chains moving, and it was in a win. I'm going to give the quarterbacks a C. I'm going to give him a C plus. Nothing to write home about Landon Locke, but he didn't turn the ball over. That equals a very lukewarm, very passing grade. In fact, I'll probably give him a B. I think I'll give him a B. Yeah, Quavez Humphreys is getting used. I'm going to give the wide receiver same grade. I'm going to give the offensive line an A because I thought they did very well. No, I'm going to give them a B. I thought they're improving. Isaac Soen playing at left tackle helps, right? Humphreys is getting used. Yeah, he's been getting used all season. It's just they haven't had the guys who could get it to him, and they were trying to find him a couple times today. So I expect them to find him in these last two games. I expect this to kind of continue as they close out the season because you're facing a Middle Tennessee team that's just dead in the water. They're dead in the water, man. And they're probably, if you're Middle Tennessee, they're probably stuck with Derek Mason, their head coach. I think he's the highest paid coach other than Liberty in the conference. So you're probably not getting rid of him. The team that has to recycle helmets and can't have alternate helmets and jerseys because they can't afford it, they're probably not going to be able to get rid of their head coach. So it's probably going to be another year of this if you're Middle Tennessee. So they're dead man walking. So there's that. They could probably win that game. There's stuff. There's still stuff out here for Sam Houston to win 4 games. And you put the over, you'd said Sam Houston's going to get at least 4 games. Well, you're starting to look a little smart, right? They thought Mason would be their savior. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They thought Derek Mason would be their savior. We talked to him over the summer. He's very intense. He's very intense. A lot of stuff he was doing at Vanderbilt, nah, bro. Ain't. And even as defensive coordinator at Stanford, probably ain't working in Middle Tennessee, man. Rick Stockstill worked more of a miracle there in Middle Tennessee than people will give him credit for. And I know that Sam Houston helped get him fired. That Sam Houston game a couple years ago led to Stockstill's firing, but there's that. Yeah, he did turn Vandy around. Remember, a couple times, Derek Mason, he beat Tennessee a couple of times. Remember the Butch Jones years? I know a couple of Tennessee fans that hate Derek Mason because I think 1 or 2 years in a row he was able to take it to Tennessee. They're one of their biggest, I think their biggest rival in state, definitely. So that was interesting. That was very interesting. But overall, a great night tonight. Again, Sam Houston, most sacks since 2017 or 2018. Their first, quote, home win of the season. Their first conference win of the season. Just decent vibe, decent vibrations. We got to talk to a lot of the different players. And so we're going to have some of that for you guys tomorrow and next week and into even tonight when I get back. I'm going to try to post some stuff. So you guys just stick around. More good stuff coming. Make sure you all have a big Sam shirt. Do you want a Sam Houston shirt? Go ahead and go into the comments and get one. This is the Bearkat Bites podcast, post-game show, all of that good stuff. I'm going to hop the train. I'm ready to go. You all be safe, be blessed, take care. All college football is good college football. We'll see you around.